What is good, YouTube, and welcome back to a brand new video. First and foremost, I hope everyone had a fantastic weekend, but as we all know, the NBA regular season has officially wrapped up, which means the start of my favorite series that we do every year is starting today, and we have one of the worst teams in the NBA, obviously worst team record-wise than the Utah Jazz. Of course, I'm hinting at the offseason rebuild starting, so let's go ahead without further ado, jump in and kick off our first offseason rebuild of the series this year, as we have the Utah Jazz. Before we get into today's video, make sure you guys drop a like on this one and subscribe if you're new to this channel. As always, greatly appreciated. YouTube tells me about 56% of the people that watch these videos aren't actually subscribed. So if you do fall to 56%, want to change that as we're on the road to 50,000 subs, that would be greatly appreciated. Because as we all know, the playoffs are officially set. Well, not quite. We technically have the play-in games as well. But we know what our 4th, 5th, 3rd seed, 6th seed matchups will be in the playoffs. So kind of just an early thought on these ones. I was kind of hoping for obviously Warriors, Lakers, and then Minnesota, Denver. That would have been awesome in the West. And the East should be fun with Indiana, Milwaukee. Hopefully Dame comes back sometime in that series. And then having Detroit in again, this time as a young team is a lot more fun than the last time we're here with obviously Blake Griffin and Drummond. But let's talk about the team that we're here to rebuild today, that being the Utah Jazz. With Lauri Markkanen, Colin Sexton. Not gonna lie, the Jazz just to me don't really have an identity yet. They don't really have their superstar per se, but that's what could change this offseason for them if they get lucky in the lottery. Also, really quickly, just want to give you guys some advice. I say this every year, but if you do plan on doing like offseason rebuilds or just rebuilds in general using Start Today, I strongly encourage you to make a Start Today file and then turn on or turn off autosave and then save the file, and that way we can come back to it, because we all know inevitably, usually, Start Today eventually crashes as the playoff goes on, and it just doesn't work anymore. So I do that every single year, where at the end of the regular season, I always make sure to make a Start Today file and then turn off autosave. So one time I'm telling you, make sure you do it. We got the Knicks and the Wolves in the finals, and the Timberwolves go on to win the championship. Julius Randle wins finals MVP. Shout out to Julius Randle. But all right. We got player retirements with Chris Paul, Kyle Lowry, Conley, Eric Gordon, Batum, Kevin Love, DeAndre Jordan, and Jeff Green all calling it a career. But this is obviously where it all starts for us with the Utah Jazz, which I haven't talked about them as much as I'd want to. But let's go ahead and see if we get lucky in the lottery, because that's really going to determine how this rebuild is going to go. As our best odds, of course, are number one being the worst team record-wise. Of course, as we all know, the top three are split, though, 14% chance, and it kind of just deteriorates from there. So do we at least stay? Well, I guess I think we have to stay in the top 5, but do we stay in the top 3 is the question, because that would be really ideal to start this rebuild. And we get 2. I'll take that. So Charlotte gets 1, Utah gets 2, Pelicans 3, Wizards 4, and the 76ers 5. As far as staff is concerned, I will keep Will Hardy for another year. He only has 1 year left on his contract. I'm not sure if they plan on firing this offseason. I don't think they will, but I guess it wouldn't totally shock me. Let's go to the draft. And let's see if there's anything else we have on draft night. So we have 228 and then 3 second rounders at our disposal. John Collins, an expiring player option, averaging 19 points per game to 8 rebounds per game last year. Of course, you still have Lauri Markkanen, which I think he will be a hot trade candidate maybe at the next year's trade deadline if the Jazz are still bad, which I assume they won't be great. I don't think Lauri Markkanen will play out his entire contract in Utah if I had to guess. Colin Sexton's on a 1-year deal. Kessler, of course, there's been rumors about him being traded away, but still on his rookie contract. Kyle Filipowski, you got Keontae George. So there's some fun players here. I don't think I'm going to trade anybody just yet. We're going to wait till after the draft. So let's just see what we can get at pick number 2, shall we? So number 1 is going to be Cooper Flagg to Charlotte. So do we either take Dylan Harper or do we take Ace Bailey? To me, I think this feels like a Dylan Harper pick. We also could take Edgecombe technically too, but I think if we can get our guard of the future with Dylan Harper, I think that would be awesome. I know Ace Bailey would be great too, but I'm going to go ahead and get our 6'6 guard, Dylan Harper, to give us a starting backcourt player for the future. So welcome to Utah, Dylan Harper. Love that pick for us. At pick 28, we got Rasheer Fleming, Johnny Broom, Bogdan, Michael Ruzic. I do think I'm going to go ahead and take Rasheer Fleming here, and I'll let the assistant GM take care of the second just to see if they give me anybody good there. So we like Dylan Harper coming in, obviously, and then we got Rasheer Fleming. We got a yes so, and we can two-way these guys. Maybe we're going two-way one of them. So I guess I'll two-way this guy and accept catchings, and then Garby Duel will probably, I mean, I guess we can two-way him as well. So we'll sign those. Okay, just kidding. We can't do that. So never mind. Let's just do that. Oh, never mind. I guess we won't sign this guy. Player options. We got John Collins declining his player option. So depending on how much money he wants, because I mean, $27 million is quite a bit for John Collins. I would assume he probably accepts that in real life because I don't really know if he'd get that in free agency, but maybe he would have a deal where he gets less money but multiple years on the contract. So I could definitely see that happening, but we'll accept every single one of these. And then qualifying offers, Elijah Harkless, Oscar, and Micah Potter. We'll go ahead and, not even worry about those. For free agency, Micah Potter is our only bird rights free agent, and then we have the ability to sign John Collins back, of course, as well, who wants $30 million. And to be honest with you, kind of steep for me. I know he's an 85 overall, but I really can't picture myself giving John Collins $30 million. I just don't think that's good business. If he was wanting less money, which I could see him going back to Utah, but less money would have to be involved. $30 million is just way too crazy, but who knows? Maybe he does get that in real life. So let's go ahead. I mean, he was pretty good, I guess, stats-wise last year for Utah, but I'm just not sure they would give him that. I guess we'll see. 19 points per game, 8 rebounds, shot 40% from threes. So I don't know. Maybe give him like a short-term deal. But I do want to go ahead and take a look at some of the guys I do want to trade right now because obviously Keontae George and Isaiah Collier is fine at the point guard rotation. I do think I want to move Clarkson out of here this offseason. Maybe even move Colin Sexton potentially just because Dylan Harper's coming in. But we'll see. Sensabaugh and Markkanen. Eventually, like I said, Markkanen will be moved, but probably won't do it this offseason. Probably wait till the deadline. And then we have pretty much... So I guess the only guy I would move out of here right now for sure is Jordan Clarkson, and maybe we'd even move Colin Sexton out of here if we find something good for him as well. The first trade I'm going to be doing is probably seeing Jordan Clarkson over to the Clippers. They're offering me Chris Dunn and Jordan Miller. Obviously, Chris Dunn was in Utah for a second, so we bring him right back, basically. And then we're going to see if we can't squeeze a pick out of them as well. So let's see if we can get the second out of them, squeeze the much value as possible. I want Johnny Juzang, and they'll give me a swap as well. I actually don't hate this idea. I know John Juzang could maybe become something for us, but we do get a first-round pick for both of them, so I'm game for this. We're going to send Clarkson and Juzang over to the Clippers, and we'll get Chris Dunn and Jordan Miller. I'm mostly doing it for the picks, obviously, but I'm happy to bring in, obviously, Chris Dunn to be a rotational piece for a year or two as well, and Jordan Miller might become something for us too, potentially. So do I move Colin Sexton out of here, or do I wait? I think I'm going to wait. I think I'm going to probably take this roster that we have right now into the trade deadline, and we'll kind of evaluate the rest from there. Is there anybody I can move to the center before I just go sign a backup 5? I mean, we could technically move Filipowski there, I guess, but I think it would be interesting to see him start as well. Or we could move Markin down the 4, move Filipowski to a backup 5 role, whatever we want to do. So he would say the same, and I'll move Markin into the 4. So yeah, I guess we'll do that. We won't even worry about signing anybody in free agency at all. We're not going to sign John Collins back. I just think that's a little too steep for my liking. Maybe Utah gives him some type of contract, but I don't really see the point of re-signing John Collins. I just don't see him being here long-term for us in this rebuild, which is why I don't see the vision of re-signing him. Kessler's up to an 86 overall, which he'll demand a big contract soon. Only 24 years old. Again, I know the Utah Jazz have been involved with trade rumors for him, but I'm probably going to keep him throughout the video because he's a damn good rim protector. But let's go take a look at the rotation for year number 1 now that we got our offseason solved. Obviously, the only thing we really did was bring in Dylan Harper through the draft, and we traded away Clarkson and got in some new guards and a draft pick. But we got to release a few guys, so allow me to do that really quickly. So here is your rotation going into year number 1. It's going to be I keep wanting to say Keyshawn George. Sorry. Keyshawn George, obviously in Washington. Keontae George, Dylan Harper, Bryce Sensabaugh, Lauri Markkanen, Kessler, Sexton, Collier, Kyle Filipowski, Chris Dunn, and Taylor Hendricks is your rotation. So leaves a couple guys out of the rotation that I'd like to see get minutes. Eventually, like, of course, Cody Williams, but I think that could be solved at the deadline once we move Markkanen out of here. I just think we're probably going to still be a bad team if I had to guess, so I will more than likely see at the deadline to probably trade away both Sexton and Markkanen. Sexton's on an expiring contract, and then Lauri Markkanen is just somebody that I think could be better on a different team. So I will see you guys more than likely at the deadline, but if for whatever reason I don't, I'll see you at the end of year number 2. So we have started the trade deadline, and I've been here for quite a while trying to make some type of Lauri Markkanen trade. I'll be honest with you, I have had no success whatsoever in trying to find like a fair trade package for Lauri Markkanen at this point. So I don't think we're going to be able to move him at the deadline as much as I really wanted to. I don't think that's going to be possible, but I said I wanted to move Colin Sexton as well. Now I threw him in here, and I have an interesting offer that I'm not sure that's like the most realistic, but I do like it, and I actually think I might go through with it. So if we look at the offer that the Rockets are throwing me, they're giving me Reed Shepherd and Jeremiah Fears. Obviously, Reed Shepherd is kind of buried in Houston's depth chart right now because of them being the 2nd seed or whatever. Jeremiah Fears is also an interesting prospect to bring in. So we do have to trade Collier, which does suck, but we're basically getting 2 guards that are going to step up into that role anyway. And this will leave Dylan Harper the 2 and Reed Shepherd and Jeremiah Fears. So I actually think I'm going to do this trade. Houston's obviously on the trajectory of trying to be good. So maybe they value Colin Sexton as a backup guard or whatever. Now I'm going to question it. We could do it at San Antonio as well if they give us Barnes in a first, which is cool. Even Dillingham from Minnesota is fun. But I do like this one a lot from Houston. So this is the one trade we are going to go ahead and trigger at the trade deadline. So Reed Shepherd and Jeremiah Fears is definitely an interesting couple of guards to bring in at this point. Obviously, we do have Keontae George as well, so we have to figure things out there. We kind of have a guard logjam, but you can't deny bringing in the young talent of Reed Shepherd and Fears being very appealing. So also want to run 11 deep. That way Cody Williams does get some minutes here. Actually giving it to Kenyon Martin, but I'm going to give these to Cody Williams here, and we'll see what we can maybe do with him for the rest of the season. But I wanted to move Markkanen really badly. Didn't see anything that made sense, unfortunately. So we're really bad right now, which was to be expected. But I love what we've done so far. The only thing we've done is bring in guards so far, but they've all been really good players that can, progress extremely well in 2K, as we all know. So I still feel good about it, but let's see how this rest of the season goes, and we'll more than likely get another good pick if our lottery odds stay in the top 3 again. So Shea's your MVP, Cooper Flagg is your Rookie of the Year, Anthony Sixth-Man, Anthony Davis Defensive Player, and Matas Buzelos Most Improved, and Devin Booker Clutch Player, and Chris Finch is your Coach of the Year, Nathan Mack is your Executive. So here's your All-NBA first team, All-NBA second team, and All-NBA third. Obviously, I'm not expecting anybody from the Jazz to be here, but you, of course, are going to have, Kessler makes all defensive first team, so obviously with that, he's going to get a big contract this offseason, but I'm willing to give it to him. And then, of course, I expect Dylan Harper to be on here, averaging 17 as a rookie. But his efficiency will get better as we go on. So we are now in the playoffs, which was to be expected. And here are your player stats. So you had 17 from Harper, 17 from Lauri Markkanen, 14 from Keontae George, 11 from Bryce Sensabaugh, 11 from Reed Shepherd, 8 and 6 from Kyle Filipowski, 8 and 11 from Kessler. So very good. Fears with 8, and then 5 from Chris Dunn, and 6 or 5 from Hendricks. So let's go ahead and see who goes on and win it all this year. Minnesota got it done last year. Will they go back-to-back? And now the Thunder will dethrone them this time. And it's going to be the Cavaliers going on to win the championship. But Shea wins Finals MVP. All right. So Al Horford, Brooke, and Russell are calling it a career. All right. Here is this is going to be an important step again. So obviously we got lucky keeping number 2 pick last year. It'd be fantastic if we can get number 1. Imagine we compare Dylan Harper with AJ DeBanza. It's been a very long time since I've gotten lucky and gotten AJ. But we'll see if that changes today. And we fall to 5. Damn. Okay. So we're not going to get AJ DeBanza, unfortunately. The Pelicans get 1, Wizards 2, Suns via Memphis, Magic, and then Jazz. I don't even know if the Suns are supposed to have that pick, but I'm not 100% sure, so I'll just leave it. Okay. So head coach, Will Hardy, I guess we could, in theory, move on from. Just kind of depends on who we want to bring in instead. So we do have Jason Kidd sitting here. Willie Green is here. Mark Dagnall. So there's a lot of good options. I mean, Mark could be definitely interesting. He's got a lot of good things about his offense and defense. So I'm going to throw Mark an offer to see if, oh, nope, he's going to say no to us. So maybe we should have gone after somebody else. Okay, so we're going to miss out on Mark. Maybe we just bring Will Hardy back, or we can get Jason Kidd as well. We give Jason Kidd an offer, and Jason Kidd says no. So we might just be, by default, bringing back Will Hardy, or we could go Willie Green, too, to make it different. I guess I'll just bring Will Hardy back, even though he probably hasn't deserved it. Wait, yeah, he just rejected us. Okay, so Will Hardy's going to be brought back again, even though he probably doesn't need to be re-signed. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe Jazz fans feel differently. But let's go. 5th overall pick. 16th pick in the second round. Again, would love to trade Lauri Markkanen away. I mean, since we did fall in this draft, I wonder if we could find a way to move Markkanen and maybe trade up into, like, the Pelicans. Would they do Markkanen in 5 for number 1? Kind of want to explore the idea of that, because one of the teams I was looking at to trade Markkanen to was the Pelicans, funny enough. I might explore that idea. I don't know why, but I think it would be cool. They obviously still have Zion at this point, so if they were keeping Zion, which we obviously probably don't know if that's going to be the case, but I'm going to see if they would be down for it, because I would love to move Markkanen. Let's see if the Pelicans would be interested in something along the lines of that. So Markkanen for number 1 obviously is not the trade, so they need a big, wow, they actually may not have anything to give us. I mean, it did just draft Ace Bailey too. I don't really want DeJounte Murray's contract, and Trey Murphy is not somebody they would trade. Maybe there just isn't anything that they can do here. Maybe we just have to stay at 5. I mean, we could have Zion in the trade too, but That's just weird. Okay, let's just draft at number 5. So we'll wait on marketing still. So number 1 is going to be AJ to New Orleans. Number 2 is going to be Cameron Boozer. Number 3 is Caleb Wilson to Phoenix. Number 4 is Elijah Arenas. And then we have either Darren Peterson, which we could actually probably take him and play him at the 3. So yeah, I think that's what we're going to do. So welcome to, we've done nothing but bring in guards so far, funny enough. But Darren Peterson could be moved to the 3 if needed. So Peterson and then Dusty Pickett in round 2. Welcome. Player options, we got Chris Dunwich. You know, we brought him in, but it was mainly for the picks. We're going to go and decline that because we brought in so many damn guards. So Hendricks, Sensabaugh, we'll accept everybody else, obviously. And then Kessler is a free agent, which is a relatively important one because he is our best player, or sorry, best free agent right now. So I am going to wait, though, to re-sign him because I would love to bring his money down. I don't really want to give him $32 million, but we'll see how that goes. Okay, I'm still in the business of trading marketing if we can make it happen. So that is my goal, and I'm going to see if I can make it happen. So the Spurs seem like they didn't just take Markkanen's contracts. They're offering me Asa Newell and a 2030 unprotected pick. So I'm just going to see if we can expand on this trade just a tad bit. Whoops, I wanted another first, not a second. Okay, so Asa Newell, and then I definitely don't need another guard. Devin Vassell, yeah. So basically, just give me 3 firsts along with Asa Newell, and we got a deal. So let's see if they would do something like this. They want an unprotected Lakers pick that we got from... Oh, that's from... Isn't that from the 3-team deal that our Jazz made a long time ago? But, oh, man, do we trade it? I mean, they have Luka Doncic, so the Lakers are probably never going to be bad anyway. The Spurs have Wemby, so we could make that same argument, though. I would love if it wasn't the Lakers pick. Let's say we gave you... Could I give you, like, Jordan Miller instead? Something like that. They want a second. They'll give me Monty Oliver. Sure, so we're going to bring in Asa Newell along with 3 firsts. We do have to trade one of the picks we got. This is from the Clarkson trade. But at the end of the day, we're getting off Markkanen's contract. He's going to San Antonio to play with Wemby and Fox or whatever they're going to have there. We do make the West a little bit stronger with the, with the Spurs. We'll have to face them later on in the video, but I really wanted Markkanen out of here, and we have made that finally happen. So now that we kind of have everybody here that I mainly want to keep. So let's first and foremost, like I said, move Darren Peterson to the 3 because he's probably going to have to play that because we have so much going on at the guard spot anyway right now. So we have Keontae George, Reed Shepard, Jeremiah Fears. We have Dylan Harper. So clearly one of these guys is going to move to the 2 guard, which will more than likely be, I guess it's going to be Fears or whatever. We'll figure it out. We got Peterson, Sensabaugh, Cody Williams, Hendricks, Rasheer Fleming, and then you got Cal Filipowski and then Kessler. So we pretty much have a full rotation again. Let's just wait to see what we could bring, obviously, Kessler's offer to. If nobody will give him an offer, we could take him to the last day of free agency and sign him for as cheap as we possibly can because we don't want to give him $30 million. It's a little crazy. So let's see if we can get him for like 25 or something. So last day of free agency, I want to give you a 4-year deal. Can I get you for like 25 is probably not going to be realistic. Let's say we did 27.5. Would you do that? 5-year deal? No, we won't even say that. Are you kidding me? Okay, what about 4 years, 28.25? What do you say to that? Okay, so that's going to be the deal. A little bit more than I'd want to give him, but we keep Walker Kessler here. So progression, we have Kessler, Harper, Keontae George, Cal Filipowski, Jeremiah Fears is up, Hendricks is up, Reed Shepard's up, Cody Williams is up. So everyone is developing. Even Fleming is up as well. I don't think I've ever drafted him, but I've seen him develop very well for other teams. So I'm very happy to have him for a video for once. But low-key, this team could actually sneak into the play-in tournament this year. I definitely think that's a possibility, but we shall see. I'm not banking on it, but it wouldn't surprise me. So let's go take a look at the rotation for year number 3. So here's what it's looking like going into year number 3. We got Keontae George, Dylan Harper in the backcourt, both in an 85 overall. We got Darren Peterson, Taylor Hendricks, Walker Kessler, Kyle Filipowski, Jeremiah Fears, Bryce Sensabaugh, Reed Shepard, and Rasheer Fleming. So that all looks pretty good. Does leave Cody Williams and Asa Newell out of the rotation, which is a little disappointing, but to me, that just means we can maybe make a crazy trade in the future if we feel like it. Proficiency is a 3-star balance still. And then what are the shot tendencies looking like? So obviously Harper should be pretty high. So we can move that even higher, obviously, because he's the guy we need to be the beast, or I guess the star here. Peterson's is pretty good out of the gate too, which we'll leave that the way it is. And Fears is pretty solid, but he'll be coming off the bench this year. So yeah, I think I'm going to leave these the way they are right now. I'm actually feeling okay with where they're at. So I will see you guys at the end of year number 3. As I said, it wouldn't totally shock me if this ended up being a play-in season for us, but also wouldn't shock me if it went the other way around too. So we'll see. We'll see, man. No expectations this year, But it'd be really cool if we took a step in the right direction this year by making the play-in tournament. So Wembanyama wins MVP, AJ Rookie of the Year in New Orleans, Jalen Johnson Sixth Man Win Defensive Player, AJ Johnson Most Improved in New York. That's definitely an interesting place to win Most Improved for him, but all right. Booker Clutch Player and Greg Popovich Coach of the Year, and Aaron Phillips is your executive. So All NBA first team. I doubt we have anybody representing these teams for us just yet. Maybe in the future. We do get Kessler making an all-offensive team again, which is nice, and we get Darren Peterson on all-rookie first team. He averaged 17 on, wow, very good efficiency as a rookie, so that's awesome to see. But we were not good again, which sucked because I was kind of expecting to maybe this be a play-in season, but maybe that's delayed by another year. So if you look at the player stats, we had 20 from Dylan Harper, 17 from Peterson, 16 from Keontae George, and 12 from Jeremiah Fears, 10 from Sensabaugh, 10 from Filipowski, and 9 from Walker Kessler. We do have an interesting few decisions to make this offseason because there was a lot of extensions I could have given at the contract extension deadline, which made me regret now looking to maybe trade some guys at the deadline. So we have the Pelicans and the Pacers in the finals. Okay, so let's see who goes on to win this one. And it's going to be the Pelicans who win an MVP or a championship, and Zion wins Finals MVP with AJ DeBanza on the team as well. So shout out to the Pelicans, man. They've done a great job. Ace Bailey, Zion, and AJ DeBanza. Pretty good. LeBron calls it a career finally. You also have Kevin Durant, Steph Curry, Paul George all retiring. So a lot of guys retiring at this point. But all right. For the lottery results, as we've been here 3 years in a row, as we are expected good odds once again. So this time we won't be top 3, I don't think. So we'll be, actually we will. We have the Lakers pick too. Again, that's from the, so I'm glad we kept this pick out of the talks with marketing because we would have given this up. So we're projected number 2 and number 6. So we have a pretty good chance at maybe landing a number 1 overall pick here, which would be awesome. So let's see what happens. We get number 2. So that Lakers pick, dude, look. We have 2 and 4, actually. 2 top 4 picks, which is awesome. And then Kings get 1, Denver number 3, which is weird to see Denver here. But man, that could not have worked out any better. So we'll be drafting again if we choose to draft again. Let's go to draft night. So we're in the 2027 draft class. Let me refresh my memory on who's here. So yeah, this is the Stokes and then the McCoy draft class. I'm low-key kind of interested in maybe being aggressive here. I know this isn't maybe the best thing to do, but McCoy is probably going to be one that falls in my lap at 2. And I don't know if I want to draft another guard. I don't know. McCoy, although a McCoy-Harper backcourt could be interesting as they're both from Rutgers. That would be wild. That'd be interesting. Maybe we keep 2 and maybe trade. I don't know. Maybe we just draft them, right? And we figure out the rest later. So let's just draft. Number 1 is going to be Tyrone Stokes. So we are going to go ahead and take best player available. And I do believe that is Brandon McCoy. So welcome to Utah. Brandon McCoy, Costanza goes, and then we can take Hugo, or we can take Caleb Gaskins or Diop. I think I'm going to go ahead and take Caleb Gaskins here, so out of Kentucky. So we've brought in a lot of really good prospects here. Brandon McCoy and then Caleb Gaskins. So now you have Kozlov also being signed in the late in the first round, so we'll go ahead and accept that. And then this is what I mean when things are about to get very interesting, because we got a lot of free agents like Keontae George, Sensabaugh, and Catchings, and then also Hendricks, I believe, was wanting a new contract. So that's going to be quite a bit of money. So I don't think we can give Sensabaugh, or we can't afford to pay all these guys. I'm just not in the business of paying all these guys right now. We've drafted so many players that I think it would just be redundant if we started paying everybody, because we clearly have Reed Shepard and McCoy now. So I do want to keep Keontae George, though. That's, to me, a no-brainer. We can't just let him go for nothing. Harper, Reed Shepard, McCoy, and then Jeremiah Fears. But what I think we can do is we can maybe trade Keontae George for something else, or we can keep Keontae George and then trade him or whatever. Or we could trade someone else, I guess. But we got to figure out some kind of consolidation trade is the word I'm looking for, because we've brought in a lot of prospects that are a lot cheaper than some of these guys. So that's probably going to look for. It's probably going to be at the power forward spot, or yeah, because I liked what Peterson did for us last year at the 3, so I definitely think we need to keep him there. For sure, Fleming could develop even more, though, and he shot 40% from 3. Damn, man. This is going to be an interesting one to figure out, but I'm up for the challenge. So I think we probably won't be able to pay Sensabaugh and Hendricks if I had to guess, unfortunately. So I'm actually going to go ahead and let them both walk, as much as it does suck to do that. I don't think we can let Keontae George walk for nothing, because that is just, an overall being wasted. But he wants a lot of money, which I probably won't give him that much. So just like we did with Walker Kessler, going to move Keontae George to day 12 of free agency and talk to him there. But losing Hendricks and Sensabaugh for nothing does suck, don't get me wrong. But we're just, you know, we already have guys on rookie contracts that are just a ton cheaper. So Keontae George wants quite a bit of money. But again, I'm going to give him like, I'll give him a 3-year deal. It's a lot to give up, but I'm going to pay him. I don't think I want to lose him for nothing. Like I said, we could, in theory, have him come back as qualifying offer, but I want to have the ability to potentially trade him at the deadline if I need to. So I'm going to give him a 3-year deal, and he'll be brought back. So we're going to have to figure out the rest later. But now you have Harper, Fears. Damn, Jeremiah Fears went up 8 overall. Holy crap. Okay. Keontae George is up to an 87. Peterson's up to an 86. There's a lot of different ways we can go about this. There's so many players we can trade away. We have multiple first-round draft picks still, I think, at our disposal. So we could definitely swing big. Might even do it late this offseason to see if there's something available. If not, I'll just see you at the rotation because there's a lot of options on the table for us right now. So I actually am trying an aggressive trade approach here, and we're going for someone like the likes of Paolo Banchero off the Orlando Magic. Still only 24 years old. So obviously, Paolo getting traded off the Magic doesn't feel like the most realistic thing in the world, but sometimes crazy things happen in the NBA. And the reason why I'm going for someone such as Paolo Banchero is because he fits a timeline, and we have so many assets that we should try to get somebody this big. So I'm starting with Keontae George, Cody Williams, and Asa Newell being in the offer. I'm going to also offer this 2.5-star value pick here, and then this pick doesn't have much value, but we're getting... Okay, so let's say... we did this, but this may not be enough, but it's a start. So let's see what they say to this offer. They say no. Okay. Like I said, we have so many options at our disposal that I think we can make something happen here. So we're going to bring in Paulo, Keontae George, Cody Williams, Asa Newell. And then let's say we can maybe even throw Caleb Gaskins in here, who has a ton of value. It would suck to trade him, but I mean, if we're getting Paolo Banchero, can we really complain? Let's say we did this instead. Okay, let's say we move it to where Asa Newell is still in the trade. You give me I almost said Dragon Bender for some reason. So, but they need a little bit more money involved in this trade. Let's say we get Winnington as well. What do you say then? No. Okay. So maybe Paolo Banchero isn't going to be gettable. How much is McCoy's value? So Brandon McCoy's value is pretty high too. What about Reed Shepherd? Reed Shepherd, 2.5-star value. Let me just explore this. He's probably making too much money when I think about it. Okay. So we probably can't do this yet, but just remember, there is a lot of good value on this team right now that we probably can't ignore the idea of being aggressive at the deadline. Paolo Banchero was an idea, but it just can't be executed to this moment. It would have been awesome if we would have been able to, but unfortunately, not yet. Not yet. But at the deadline, I have to make something happen. I will say Power Rank has us 9th overall, so they are very high on us here, which is nice. We do have a lot going on. We have Keontae George still in the backcourt, though. We have Ferris, Filipowski, McCoy, Reed Shepherd, Rasheer Fleming off the bench. That leaves guys like Caleb Williams and Gaskins out of rotation entirely. More than likely, I will see with the trade deadline. I'm expecting this team to be decent this year at the very least, and then that should lead us to being able to make an aggressive trade depending on who is selling, who's rebuilding, or whatever. But we should be able to pull the trigger on almost anybody, as long as we can match the salaries, obviously, which is always a challenge in itself. But I like the team. As long as we're mid at the deadline, all we need to do is bring in that star to elevate us. We could be a contender this year, in my opinion. So we'll see, though, if that star is available at the deadline for us like we want it to be. We were 25 and 24 at the trade deadline, and that's all I wanted to see. And one thing I also seen, which we just tried in the offseason, is the Magic are under 500. They're 21 and 29. They're rebuilding, and I want them in the worst way possible. I want to bring in Paolo Banchero to this team. I don't know if we're going to be able to do it. We tried it in the offseason. It didn't work, but he is the guy I'm all in on right now. So we obviously have to give it quite a bit of value to make this happen, but I'm all okay with doing that. So let's throw Keontae George, obviously, to start the trade offer. We'll throw in either one of these, like, really good, like, we can throw in Gaskins, so it's a lot of trade value. We can even do both Gaskins and McCoy. It would be a little steep to do that, but we do have the guards to support it if we wanted to. But I'm going to start, well, let's not do Filipowski. Kessler, Peterson, Fears, and we could throw Fears in here too, technically, because we do have McCoy who's waiting in the wings. So I don't hate the idea of throwing Fears in here. Reed Shepherd would have to be paid this offseason, but so Reed Shepherd or Fears is maybe the guys I'm going to look at. So let's throw Reed Shepherd in here, though, and give me Winnington and then Bender, but that's too much money. So it's a little too much money. Reed Shepherd's making way too much money, obviously. So let's say we did Fears instead. Oh my gosh, his trade value is actually insane. But this would give us Paul Banchero. It does suck to trade someone who just went up 8 overall. But, dude, I mean, you just feel like with Dylan Harper already here. Now, our point guard might be a question mark, but I am okay with McCoy starting there because we're going to have McCoy and Dylan Harper backcourt going forward. I doubt we even have to give up much more than this, right? No, they don't agree to that. I'm surprised. Okay, what about this pick 2? Come on, man. Look at the prospect I'm giving you. You can't accept this? Let's go. We got him. Okay, so Paul Banchero is on the Utah Jazz. Let's go. So that's going to be an interesting one, but now you have Reed Sheppard, Harper Peterson, Paulo, Walker Kessler, Kyle Filipowski, Brandon McCoy, Rasheer Fleming, Ace Newell, and Cody Williams. We're basically banking on the fact that Paulo and Dylan Harper is going to be a nice duo this year, obviously, and then McCoy is going to step into that backup or into that starting point guard role eventually. Reed Sheppard gets an opportunity this year at least as well. So proficiency now pushes up to, I imagine, a 4-star, right? Yep, so it is a 4-star. Shot tendencies, we have Paulo's very high, Harper's is very high, Peterson's is a 3rd role. That all looks good to me. All right, we're 25 and 24. We actually, funny enough, get to play the Magic now. We do lose, though. So, damn, Paulo Banchero's first game is against his former team, and he didn't play so well. So, hopefully that turns around, though. 97 overall addition. But like I said, we had so many damn good trade assets that I knew we could do something. So, I'm glad we pulled it off. We'll see if we can turn things around, but so far, it doesn't look like it's going well, which I'm quite surprised by. But hopefully 2K turns us around, and maybe just a gelling phase, and it'll turn around very quickly. So the most upsetting way possible, we actually missed the plan entirely. I'm really surprised that we never stayed over 500, but 2K never turned this team around, which, again, was really shocked by. I really thought once we bring in Paulo, 97 overall, and Harper partnered with him, I know we made our point position worse or whatever, but yeah, that sucked. A little bit of a sting there, but it's all good. I think we're all in this offseason on what we have, obviously. And we're going to be a contender next year. I'm not even really worried about it. It's the Pelicans and Hawks. The Pelicans go on to win it all. So that's the team we need to take down going forward, which we will. James Harden, DeRozan, Kawhi all retiring, and then Jonas Valanciunas as well. But I'm very upset that we did not get the odds to go in our way. Obviously, we just traded a lot of our draft picks, so don't think the Magic get one, which they needed after trading Paulo. But they bring in Fierce too, so they're going to be in a good position, even though trading Paulo does obviously sting. I don't even think we have a first-round pick at all, which is probably fine because we've drafted so much lately that it probably wasn't even necessary to have one. So staff signing, we got Will Hardy. I mean, do we fire him after that? I think we do. I think we fire him because I'm really disappointed by that result. I just feel disgusted that it didn't work out in a at least playing appearance. So I'm going to give some of the top candidates an offer to see if they would change their, or, maybe come over here. So JJ Redick's going to be the only one that accepts our offer. That's fine. We get JJ Redick. So just to double check, but I don't believe we had a first round pick, but we're all in on contending next year because that's what we've done to this point to create that. So player options, you have Harper, Whittington, and Bender will decline. Newell, accept all of these. And then qualifying offers, Reed Sheppard, Cody Williams, and Filipowski, all free agents. So Filipowski, definitely one I want to bring back, but he's asking for quite a bit of money. Cody Williams didn't really play for us, and Reed Sheppard's asking for quite a bit. So similar thing, though. I think I'm probably going to take these guys like I've been doing to the last day of free agency. So I don't want to renounce anybody, so let's not do that. But we will go ahead and we can renounce, I think, Cody Williams. Well, I'm not going to renounce him just yet. So let's just renounce those 3 guys, and then let's look at what we got going on. So McCoy and Reed Sheppard once he's brought back. Peterson, we definitely hurt our depth a little bit, but we can move Newell or Fleming to the 3, and I think everything will be fine. So Fleming would probably go up, or he goes down, I guess. Newell goes up. So we can move Newell to the 3. So maybe we just don't bring Cody Williams back, and we just sign a shooting guard as well, like Jace Richardson, who got waived for some reason. Give me him. Sign Jace, or we can renounce Cody Williams, I guess, and we won't renounce Reed Sheppard. So we'll do that. So that gives us that. We'll bring Filipowski and Reed Sheppard back as the hope, at least. So we'll see if we bring these guys in. Cody Williams won't be brought back, and let's see if we can get Filipowski and Reed Sheppard for as cheap as possible on the last day. Why is Reed Sheppard's offer so high, by the way? Or maybe it's just always like that. I never noticed. $28 million is wild. Okay, so now we're on day 12. All right, let's see. So Reed Sheppard, 2 years, $19 million. So we can do something like that, and then we can go 3 years, $23 for Filipowski. So we are now in contention mode. So we have Harper up to a 91 Peterson's up. McCoy's up to an 84, which I anticipated, which is why I was okay with trading Fears as much as it did suck. Let's see what he's doing now. He's up to a 92. So yeah, we're missing out. I definitely can admit that, but I'm hoping what we have will be okay. So we'll see what it's going to look like going to year 5, I believe, but I'm hoping and anticipating that this is the year it finally goes well for us. Pyric lands us 7th overall, and here is the rotation going into next season. And this is the season we're anticipating. Hopefully, contention can be flowing around. So we have McCoy, Harper, Peterson, Paulo, Kessler, Filipowski, Asa Newell, Richardson, Fleming, and then that's it to round up your rotation. I guess we can throw Reed Shepard some minutes because he's obviously being paid a lot of money, so him not playing would be kind of unfortunate. All right. Let's wait, I guess let's wait like the first few weeks, see how this is looking. So we got, wow, off to a, okay. Now we're getting some win streaks going, maybe. All right, so yeah, 5-3, okay, well, we continue to stay mid so far. Hopefully things eventually gel. I can't miss the playoffs again. I think this is the year we need to make the playoffs. And so far we're super mid, but we'll see if that eventually turns around. So Victor Wembanyama wins MVP. Cameron Holmes is your Rookie of the Year. Hugo's your 6th man women defensive player. Harrington most improved, and Tatum's your clutch player. So we did finally make the playoffs, by the way. So that is great. Harper All NBA second team, and I was hoping to see Paulo on here too, but unfortunately we do not. So we are the 4th seed, and fun enough, we get the Pelicans, who were kind of the team I was talking about we need to take down. So we actually won 58 games, but it only netted us the 4th seed. It was just a very good Western Conference. As you can see, the top 5 teams in the West won 58 games or above. So we definitely got our work cut out for us here. So let's look at the player stats. We had 22.5 from Dylan Harper with 6 rebounds and 8 assists. 22 and 7 from Paulo. 16 from Peterson. 14 from McCoy with 6 assists. So he's developing really nicely. 11 from Jace Richardson. 10 from Asa Newell. And then 8 from Filipowski with 5 rebounds. 7 and then 6 and 8 from also Walker Kessler. Reed Shepard probably hasn't been as good as I'd really want him to be, which is why we're about to move this to a 9-man rotation. So that gives a guy that's making what did we, or that was, I guess, for sure Fleming's out of rotation, which that's fine because he's a rookie. But I'm about to say Reed Shepard might be out of rotation entirely. We gave him like 20 something, yeah, $19 million. At least we only gave him a 2-year deal. But all right, let's see if we can beat the team that's been winning championships lately with the Pelicans, which they did lose Zion, so that should hurt them a little bit. We'll see how it goes. Game 1 goes to us. Good start. Game 2 goes to us. And they do win Game 3, and they win Game 4. So we got a even series now. Let's go back to Game 5 in Utah, or go to Game 5 back in Utah. And we got ourselves a close competitive Game 5 so far, but it looks like they might run away with it unless, nope, they're going to win Game 5. So we got to win Game 6 to force it back to Utah. Can we do it is the question. And I knew this was going to be a tough task to handle. But it looks like we might be forced into Game 7. This one was pretty easy. So Game 7 is happening. We have to keep in mind we're playing a 58-win team just like us. So this is not surprising to see New Orleans giving us some trouble. Can we win Game 7, though? It's going to be back and forth. It's going to be a close one, but we hang on, and we will. We win 102-124, 36 from Paulo Banchero to lead us the way. Now we get to play the Spurs, who have Wemby and then whoever else. We did trade the Markkanen earlier, so I do wonder if Markkanen's still there. We have Casper's Castle. We got Vassell, Sohan, Wembanyama, Darius, Malachi Branham, Jet Howard, Corey Kispert. And no, Markkanen is no longer here, so they let him go, I guess, as soon as possible. All right, they have a good team, so this is going to be tough, just like this Pelican series was. So Game 1 goes to us. Good start. Game 2. So far, so good. We won both games on their home floor. Are they going to return the favor, though? No, we win Game 4. Can we win Game 5? No. All right, so we're back at home in Utah. This is to avoid going back to San Antonio. We can just close the series here in Game 6. It looks good so far, but I wouldn't rule the Spurs getting back into this game. And we will hang on. 113-129. So we're going to the conference finals. And once again, we're dealing with another team that won 58 games or above, and that's the Dallas Mavericks, who have Kyrie, Will Riley, Ian Jackson, AD, Lively, Gafford, Reed, PJ Washington, and DeAnthony Melton. So do we beat this team, though, is the question. Game 1 goes to us. Game 2 goes to us. I think that's how both series have started so far, but can we continue the 3-0? Yes. And do we beat them? Okay. It's going to 6 again. This to avoid Game 7 after we're just up 3-0. So let's not blow a 3-0 lead, please. Gonna go to maybe a Game 7, though, if we don't win this one. And we will. Wow, that was A little scary. Did not want to go to a game 7 after being up 3-0, but we're going to the finals to play the Washington Wizards, which is probably the next offseason rebuild what we're doing, honestly, because we don't have a playing game until Tuesday. So we got Braden Burries, VJ Edgecombe, Bryce Sensabaugh, Boozers, and Alex Sard. Damn, they've done a good job building their team up as well. So this will be a tough one, but let's see if we made it to the finals to get a championship. So game 1 goes to us. Game 2 goes to them. Game 3 goes to them. Game 4 goes to us. Okay, 2-2 series so far. Can we win game 5, though, to go up 3-2? Let's see. It's looking okay for us so far, but they're right on our heels. We hang on. Yes, we're going to beat them in game 5. We have the 3-2 lead. This in game 6 in Washington to close this video out with a championship. Looking good right now, and I think as long as we don't blow a massive lead, which is still an entire 4th quarter, so that is possible technically, but I think we may have done it, ladies and gentlemen. I think the first offseason rebuild is going to successfully end with a championship coming to Utah, which is awesome. So that is awesome. I'll slow this down because I'm going to try to get the championship celebration here at the end. So I hope you guys enjoyed this rebuild. Was a ton of fun. A very nice way to kick off these offseason rebuilds with the Utah Jazz. So let the Washington Wizards inbound it, and that will... we almost got the steal off the rip, but they can't get back in the game. There's not enough time. I'll see you guys in the next one. This is Crushables. I'm saying peace. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you click here to watch another video that I know you'll love.